Okay, so I apologize if this video is maybe a bit disturbing in some parts, and I normally don't make videos like this, but I got to thinking about this topic, recently. It just seems like what some people have with medical facts are getting all out of whack. Like, one thing that you should do, it's said to cause cancer, and it may seem like both sources are reliable. But this particular thing I have up here, what do 1 million subscribers know that you don't? Oh, nothing. This is one that's particularly sparked a lot of arguments, at least where I've been, and I find the crazy amount of people who actually believe this crap, and even how much it's been reblogged. This was, I think, first published in 2011, but never really became the rampage until like 2013, 2014-ish. And now it's like everyone's just wanting to jump on this crazy bandwagon. On this particular, at least that's when I've noticed that this trend's been going on. This particular one is courtesy of Joseph Mercola. And it's why you should never sleep with TV or dim lights on. Well, let's think about this for a minute. Exposure to even dim light at night, such as glowing TV screen, could prompt changes in your brain that lead to mood disorders up to and including depression. Researchers placed hamsters in sleep environments with different lighting conditions. After 8 weeks, the hamsters Okay, well, I don't know if any of you guys have seen my videos about that. Who saw my video about animal testing. I put it up at the end of my freshman year, so yeah, about 3 years ago, I did a video talking about how that's not really the most accurate thing, and something to note is that hamsters, rats, because this was done on rats too, those are all rodents that tend to be attracted to dark spaces, but humans have been said to have a natural fear of the dark, and yet somehow we require it to sleep or whatever, and I hear this crap like all the time about, like, I'll show you, Dr. Mercola in total, it can set the stage for depression. Yeah, give me a break. In fact, sleeping in total darkness has been dubbed light pollution. Well, I thought it was called light pollution because it was interfering with our ability to see the stars that easily. You have to stare up for quite some time if you want to see the stars. Low glare light. More subtle examples of light pollution are the strips of light that sneak in around your curtains at night, or even the soft blue glow of your clock radio. Blue? What about red? Most clock radios I've seen are red, but not all of them. I have seen some blue ones. All of these have the potentially to negatively impact your health by altering your circadian rhythms, IDA writes. Light pollution wastes energy. Yeah, that is actually true. Rules in ecosystems, including the following. Lighter circle lights until they die of exhaustion. Oh, really? I've never seen that happen or heard of it or anything. And I would think if that was the case, we'd be seeing dead birds around football stadiums. The light of the moon. Well, that brings up a point. Is like if I think it's, but yeah, you get the point that it's like there's something in here that even says, like, the even teensiest bit of light is gonna cause all these disorders, and that's what I've been hearing. And then I found other sources that say it's only blue lighting, and some say that, blue lighting is the most effective, but is the most detrimental, but any light is bad. It's like, I don't know, because, well, this was just published a couple of years ago. Before then, people could fall asleep in front of the TV, and, if it was a big problem, it was just, somebody could just come in and turn the TV off. No big deal. But now it's like everybody has to have a freaking panic attack when that happens or whatever. My mom included, because my mom actually fell for this. And it's like, I don't understand why. Now let me get off started by saying, you saw several things in there about depression. Well, yes, I have depression, but I would have dealt with it so much far longer ago than I do now, and pretty much every human on Earth, if not 99% of humans on Earth, would be dealing with these problems if this was the case. I even put a thread up on Reddit kind of ranting about this crap. Toning and depression, let's see. Yeah. The Oregon. Yeah, right. But yeah, you get the point that I don't believe in this crap, because I've never been 100% sure if the artificial light given off is, if the light particles really are different, because I know that people will grow plants and have animals in artificial light, and they do just fine. But, sources of light at night, it's not like humans ever slept in complete darkness before. We all have, of course, the moon and the stars, and if you want to get a little bit more in detail, thunderstorms at night send lightning crashing and light up the whole sky. And, fire, that is a natural thing. And then if you want to get real elaborate, lightning bugs, glowworms, even cat's eyes, and, the northern lights, if you live, like, way up north, and, I doubt you actually instantly wake up at the moment that the sun rises. I'm pretty sure you do, the sun's, like, already been up for at least an hour by the time you wake up. And yeah, and here's another thing I'm getting so fed up with, is the amount of, like, mental health studies that have been done. It's like, that's why I feel like people are either getting away with so much, or why people are getting so out of hand these days, is because people are like, oh, it's some chemical imbalance in their brain, let's give them drugs. Like, did you know these days that the rate of disciplining children has gone down? And it's like, I heard something along the lines of 25% of toddlers are on, like, psychiatric medication or ADHD medication, and it wasn't so much that way many, many years ago. Instead, their parents pulled them aside and gave them a serious talking to, or a serious butt beating, which, spanking, I'm kind of off and on about that, because it never worked on me, but it does work on some kids. But, what did work on me was getting my stuff taken away, like my computer, or, my phone here, or one of those little, favorite toy, or something like that. In fact, it's like another thing I've heard about is sunscreen. It's been saying that, sunscreen, it's like they always say to wear it, or, if you get sunburn, you're at risk of skin cancer. But wait, didn't humans used to always get sunburn, right? And yeah, and humans used to always sleep outside too, where the moon would shine bright. And yeah. But, and it's crazy the amount of stuff people are believing these days, and I think part of what's causing that is the amount of media attention just given, and the fact that we're on such a 24-hour news cycle, and the fact that it seems like everything needs to get studied, or people need to find some reason for something, or need some way to make an interesting headline or whatever. And the fact that some of these people who are doctors think, they think because of that people will listen to them more. But, I'm getting to a point now where the more crap like this I hear, the more I'm starting to not trust a lot of medical websites and just a lot of media sources. Even some doctors I've started to question. Like, a while back I was watching Dr. Oz, and he was explaining to some lady about how her about the reason that that she was getting stressed out all the time had something to do with some chemical in potato chips. And it was like, really? No. It's just, no. The real reason that people have behavior problems is because they're not taught correctly. They should have been taught correctly as kids, and they clearly don't have a concept of what right and wrong is. And it's like, I mentioned earlier that I have depression. Well, I'm sorry, but I don't think taking a pill's gonna fix it. I have learned to manage it in better ways, none of which involve antidepressants, and unfortunately, I don't think antidepressants are gonna help. And I've heard very, contradicting statements. Some doctor or whatever even said that they make depression worse, and I don't feel like they're gonna do anything at all. That's just me. I think it's like lithium, it's just a way to F up your kidneys. But, yeah, it's like, I'm just starting to not trust a lot of things anymore. About the only places I really, online or on TV that I really trust for information is, Fox News. I've trusted them for a long time. And then as for websites, I would go to something like WebM. If I really needed to do research on some illness for a project, or if I really needed to do some real serious research for whatever, I'd go with websites like WebMD, Mayo Clinic, OSHA, or NBCI, or even the Environmental Protection Agency. See what those health organizations, that are government run. Well, I don't really trust the government, but I do trust some of those health organizations. Even websites like WebMD and Mayo Clinic, I've lately been questioning a little bit. Yeah, but you probably get the point. I often will base things off my own observations, or we'll go through, or we'll talk to people who've actually experienced something themselves. I started a thread on Reddit about, blah, 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 sleeping with the lights on, blah, 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 and asking what people have experienced. And, it seemed, and I've even talked to some people who I know have slept in, at least a wee bit of light, that usually came from a crack in the window or something, and who said they've never had any problems, or if they did, it was usually because of some other condition they suffered from. But one of my other thoughts about, why people say that we have so many health problems these days is because I think our problem is that we are just back 2,000-3,000 years ago, the cavemen, they only lived an average of about 30 to 40, maybe 50 years, and we're living into our 70s, 80s, and 90s nowadays, and I think because of that, we're developing a lot more health issues from it. And it's like, I think that's why the rates of cancer have increased, is because we've been living so much longer to get it. And, you know, it's amazing that people act like we have so many all these health problems that we didn't used to have, you know, 100 years ago. Well, that's because technology's improved so much. As one problem goes, another problem comes. It's you know, think about it. People used to die from smallpox, and just even getting like an infection on your foot would cause you to lose your foot or even kill you back then. But nowadays, that's not even imaginable nowadays. It's just, I think you get the point that just the way that modern medicine is working these days, it's just, I'm starting to not trust it one bit. And you may disagree with me, but, you know, it seems like these days I'm mostly basing things off my own observations and, you know, what I feel is going on. That's just me. But if you have any opinions on this, I'd love to hear them. But yeah, I'm halon poisoning, and I'm signing out. And you may not believe me or agree with me on anything, but, you know, I don't care. This is just my view on things. So yeah, take care. Oh, and one more thing I forgot to mention, that I really should ask you guys about. Do you guys believe that shots cause autism? Because I don't. And there's been also, and like I mentioned, there's been a lot of stuff out there that say not to trust Joseph Mercola, but it's crazy the amount of people that do. Okay, I'm done.